Now, if you're a startup looking for funding, I think the first form that you should do, even before looking for funding, is to remember the two most profitable unicorns that we have in India today were never funded. Okay, they were bootstrapped. They did not go for any external funding, and they chose to run after creating a sustainable business model, and that's how they're still profitable today. I'm talking about Nitin Kamath Zerodha and Sridhar Vembo from Zoho. So yes, but despite the fact that if you're still looking for funding, the first thing for you to do is, and all my presentation will be focused more from a government angle. You will obviously know about the private angle of angel investors or friends and family and things like that. Figure out the sector that you're into it. There are a lot of sector schemes available by various ministries to help you. Even if you do not have a hardcore sector, like let's say a deep tech or an agri or a drone, there are schemes under the Science and Technology Ministry, under the Ministry of Electronics and IT, under Startup India, that is sector agnostic, or will cut across sectors even if you just show that your startup is tech enabled. What it enables you is to receive a grant money, which means you are not diluting your equity. You will be getting the grant on a milestone basis from the government to build your idea into POC. Some of the schemes, it is not an exhaustive scheme, but to know which will apply to your sector, the Startup India's website has all these schemes summarized for you. All you need to do is choose your sector, and it will throw up the ministries or the entrepreneurial scheme under that ministry. The second thing to do is to figure out the state you're part of, right? Where you're incorporated. The states prefer that if they're giving you funding, that you're incorporated in that region so that you're creating jobs for that state. So, there is the Odisha Startup Growth Fund. Karnataka has, the Elevate scheme. There is Fund of Funds and things like that. But a lot of states, in fact, we have encouraged the states. When I started, only 4 states had policy. We helped 31, sat with the state teams, created their policy, encouraged them to set up funds dedicated to women entrepreneurs, provide marketing assistance. So even if you're taking up a space in Odisha co-working space, they will pay you 20,000 per month as a sustenance allowance. So a lot of schemes are available to support you. So you should know what are those incentives under that state and be part of that ecosystem. All you have to do now to know about the state is go to Startup India state section, select the state. You will have the fiscal incentives, non-fiscal incentives, and the state SPOC that you can get in touch with for any support. But would strongly encourage you all. For everyone in Delhi NCR, we are working with them as well. They are yet to be out with the policy, but the good thing is that the private ecosystem in Delhi NCR is fairly mature than the ones in the emerging cities. Apart from Delhi NCR, the only states left, actually it's only the union territories that are left with the scheme, but most of the states and UTs now have a policy. Okay, so we have covered sector, we have covered state. Moving on to the third element of approaching funding is to know about these schemes which are sector agnostic. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to talk about in detail about these 3 schemes. The first is early stage grant, 20 lakh, 50 lakh convertible debt, but will be in your first few years of your life cycle. I will talk more about it. Fund of funds I will explain. Credit guarantee is more of a loan scheme from the bank. Okay, starting with the fund of funds. So if you are a revenue making startup, or if you are into the growth phase of your journey, or if you need funds for expanding, which means we are looking at a bridge round of funding or pre-series A, series B. This is your go-to fund. The government, I have funded the Small Industrial Development Bank of India, SIDBI. There is a 10,000 crore fund of fund, out of which 8,000 has been committed to SIDBI to invest in venture capital funds. Now more than 88 or I believe 90 we are about to hit, 100, sorry, about 100 plus VC firms have got this investment. What it does is, if I am investing 10 crores into a 100 crore pool of the government, I have mandated that VC firm that 2x of my contribution, which means 20 crore, will need to be funded back into DPIT eligible startups. So your recognition comes into play, your DPIT eligibility will be helpful. Second, all these investors are actively looking at those startups where they can also pitch. As a government, what it has done, I'm not into the business of managing or investing these funds, but I have created a catalyzing pool of 6.5x. So from the 10 crore that I funded, 90 crore is what the investor is getting from other limited partners, LPs. By showing the confidence of this ecosystem that the government is backing me, let's raise more funds, which is again going back into this ecosystem. So from 8,000 crore, I mobilized a pool of 55,000 crore, all available for this ecosystem. The fund is doing well. How to discover this fund is through this Investor Connect portal. Now what is happening, it's actually a reverse bid. So I think about 2 months ago, our Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal sir launched this Investor Connect portal. It's built with the help of Rajan Anandan from erstwhile Sequoia and now Peak XV and SIDBI to help you discover investors better and to help you connect with them. What the investors are also doing is they are putting in their investment bids through this. So for example, She Capital, Anisha recently announced that, okay, I'm looking for women to invest in women investors. These are the criteria that I'm looking for. So all these investment calls also, in fact, there are 3 live right now, are also made through this platform right now. All again you need is to be DPIT recognized to be able to access this. It will match make your requirements with the requirements which the VCs have specified in terms of their eligibility criteria, and that's how you can discover and connect with them. We are trying to expand the pool of these VCs by getting in angels also onboarded and other funds. This is the seed fund. So for the early stage startup, looking for a grant of about 20 lakh or convertible debt of 50 lakh. Again, all housed under Startup India. The only thing is that it is really in your early stage. So 0 to 2 years is the life of a startup when this will support from the time of incorporation to help you from your idea to POC. Now, often we have also seen that the banks are not providing loans to startup. One, because of the requirement of collateral. Second, because of, they feel that it is a very risky investment. How to categorize or channelize this is government through the credit guarantee scheme for startups is backing the debt that the bank will provide to the startups. So under the CGS scheme, you can avail loans from the bank without giving collateral, and the banks are more sensitized to the needs of startups. Some other avenues where you get money in forms of grant, cash free from government departments is through these innovation programs and challenges. For example, we were working with CRPF soldiers who were looking for an instant blood clot solution. So they said that we will pay you to develop this solution, just help us build this. But honestly, coming to the last point under funding, the common feedback I've got from investors is that the storytelling needs to be better. So we have worked with a lot of investors to help you with better storytelling, better pitching, and a lot of, be it Ajay Chaudhary, the co-founder of HCL, to Raman Roy, the BPO head, to Rajan, have taken very dedicated one-on-one workshops, one-to-many workshops, closed room workshops to help you answer all your queries in what is it that they are looking forward to. Okay, I believe after funding, market access is the second most important question that is also asked. How do I access customers? A lot of you, in fact, a lot of your services are very helpful for me at Startup India, for me at, to build a new product, to get the IT services, to develop an interface, or for my marketing needs. But how do I reach out to you? So it has to be in a very systematic way. A government cannot work unless a transparent bid is out there. So I know it may be a little cumbersome process to apply for tenders and bid, but to simplify it, I would strongly urge you all to be part of the government e-marketplace, where about 18,000 startups have already got 2 lakh orders worth 13,000 crores. So the mode is working well. There is a special runway where startup innovations are highlighted, and as a startup, you don't have to submit your prior experience, you're exempted from that, your prior turnover, you're exempted from that, and the need to submit EMD. So you're not blocking your funds also. If anyone needs any support in getting onboarded to the government e-marketplace from where all the government departments today are purchasing, I will be happy to support. For grievances, where a government department is not giving you these relaxations, we will write to them on your behalf saying that this is our startup, please help them. Okay, what else? Through the ministries, okay? So the ministries come out to us. We work with a lot of ministries, sensitizing them on how you should be working with startups. Now this is, I would say, more need basis, more problem basis. So the fisheries will be looking for an, you know, solutions where the life, you know, plastic is not thrown into the oceans, and what can startups do. To you know, animal husbandry, looking at milk adulteration, Jal's even looking at devices and all. I understand that the audience here is more service based, but what I want to leave with you is that no matter how big or small a program is, if it is applicable to you, get the brand of working with the ministry. It will open up a lot of clients and avenues for you and other projects that will come. Okay, now I think this is where it will work well for all of you. The corporates are approaching us saying, I'm looking for the services of startups to cater to either my value chain, my customers, or you know, I want to work with them directly. So again, if today you say that I want to be a client for BPCL, I may not be able to connect you directly, but when BPCL is doing that call for applications, please be a part of it. They will help you with mentorship. You know, the senior leadership is very deeply invested. They provide you cash grants, again, free money, risk-free money, not diluting anything, and you get a tag of you know, supporting that corporate that helps you expand. A lot of these at any given point of day, at least 10 of these programs are live. So be a part. You know, use this opportunity well to network with these corporates. Okay, finally, talking about global market access, I do understand that even code, this expand my business, might go to Riyadh as well in a certain years. But you know, from the government standpoint, how we are helping you expand to these nations that you see and beyond is that, one, we want to show the world what is the potential of Indian innovation. So the government is investing in you, to sponsoring you, to make you a part of all these festivals that are, you know, the leading global festivals. So I'm talking about Slush in Helsinki, Finland. I'm talking about Web Summit, Portugal. I'm talking about Viva Tech Paris as we speak. Dubai Expo, we took a lot of startups. And with all these countries that you see, I have my counterpart in these countries, which is either the embassy or a Startup India counterpart that will help you navigate that market better, that will help you tell what are the visa requirements for these countries, and this is the people that you should be in touch with. So if any of these countries are of interest to you, these are through the Startup India bridge pages that we have, again, through the website. How many of you have heard about Startup 20? Okay, I take it as a no, no one. So the only engagement group to be approved under the leadership of India in G20 was on startups. I think it's a big victory for us because, one, for the first time, startups will be at the center stage of global conversation, which means we are urging every G20 economy to talk about startups and to support them. So there were 2-3 more groups that were proposed but were rejected. The only group that was unanimously approved was Startup 20. We are hosting the culmination summit of it in Gurgaon, 3rd, 4th July. I invite you all to be a part of it. The registrations are live on the Startup 20 website. So go check it out, but it will be a mega culmination of all the efforts of the last few months on the working group. Okay, moving on and towards the end. So this is some of those examples. Dubai Expo, we took 100 startups, majorly from the emerging cities, sponsored them, make them the part of the India Pavilion, and connected them with the ecosystem. In fact, the Consulate General in UAE was so impressed that even after the expo, he's continuing. Every month we are pitching him, providing him a list of startups, and he gets the investors from that region to which these startups are pitching. All you need to do is, again, be a part of this ecosystem to get to know about these opportunities. Okay, I think with that, I will just leave you with the last message of mentorship. I think I strongly believe that feel free to make your own mistakes, but don't make mistakes which have already been made. And this is where a mentor will come into play. And we've got some of the best mentors, okay? So I will show you a random, few names, right from, a Rajan Peak XV, from investors to corporates, IVCA, Morgan Stanley, MG Motors, Dell, Google. We have got the best from all the corporates, investors, academicians, to help you with the mentorship needs. It is a digitized AI matchmaking portal. 800 mentors are already there. We are doing dedicated handholding sessions. Urge you all to use it to reach these people directly and take your conversations forward. I understand I'm overshooting my time, so I will just leave you with the thought that there is a program that we run called the National Startup Awards. Now, from the 99,000 startups that I have, we select every year a bunch of startups that we handhold very dedicatedly for a period of 1 year. So which means from the winners, which are about 40 plus, to the finalists, which are about 200 plus, I'm running a dedicated program, and they become my responsibility for all the investor connects that they need, for all the programs that I'm sponsoring them for all the ministry connects that they need, and for everything at large. The current fourth pool of NSA is live. Please apply, because this will give you an easy access to all the things that you need from the ecosystem in a very, very systematic way. The applications are open only till 15th June, and we've already got about 2,000, 3,000 plus here. There will be a dedicated storytelling platform. So, we have been doing it on Doordarshan, but we plan it to take it to maybe on Netflix, telling the stories of startups through an OTT platform. And these are some of the, Skyroot was a startup identified in NSA, one of the, and the chairman of ISRO himself was evaluating him. So, and he was so impressed that even before they emerged a winner, ISRO started supporting them, and then we know what happened. One of the first private space vehicle into this ecosystem was by Skyroot. We may all have heard about Tinkerbell. It was also on Shark Tank. Again, with the support of National Startup Awards, we connected them with a lot of states where they could pitch to the government. Yeah. Okay. Finally, for women entrepreneurs, there are dedicated pitching sessions, mentorship sessions, a 1,000 crore pool of fund to be invested in women, which anyways we have already surpassed, but there is more as we speak. But we really walk the talk. We ensure that 1/3 of any program we do will be represented by women, and my team itself has 65% women employees, and I report into a woman who's also a leader, who's the joint secretary at DPIT. So we do understand. I think for any regulatory support that you need, wherever you are stuck with any department, we can be your voice to that department and help you. I think I'll just end here, leaving you with our coordinates, leaving you with the message that a lot has changed over the last 7 years. There is no other economy, okay? Silicon Valley is built by the support of the private ecosystem, but the kind of government support and interventions that you have in this ecosystem is phenomenal. So make the most of it, and we hope you succeed in this journey. Thank you.